Beautiful. If this is your first time here, I want to welcome you. My name is Melissa Brown, also known as the Soul Love Coach, and I'm here today just to help you to hear God more clearly, love yourself more deeply, and to live a more full and free life. We are about a week into the new year, and all of us know what usually happens around this time. This is around the time of the month where the excitement starts to settle in. Vision boards may be hanging on the wall, declarations may have been spoken, and then the question quietly shows up. The now what question. And this video is for you if you started the year with intention, but you're already starting to feel scattered. If you're hearing a lot of voices about what you should be doing, but at the same time, you still don't know what you should be doing. Or if you sense God is calling you higher, but you're not sure how to move into that new arena without trying to force it. Today, in this video, my desire is to ground us. I'm going to share three spiritual principles that will help you to focus your energy, your time, and your spirit for the rest of this year, not from a place of pressure, but from alignment. This is not going to be about you hustling or working harder, but it's going to be about living truer and freer. So take a breath and let's get into it. The first principle that I want to share with you is really an important one. And it's all about you making the decision to live from your divine identity as opposed to your current circumstance. It's important that we realize that a lot of times we are living in a way that's very reactive. We're making decisions based on what we see, what we feel like we lack, or what didn't work before. But here is the truth. Your circumstance is always temporary. Your identity in God is eternal. In the spirit realm, before you were disappointed, before something didn't work out, before things went left, you are already who God said you were. The issue isn't becoming somebody new. The issue and really the task for this year is going to be you agreeing with who God already said you are. Living from your divine identity, what it looks like and what it means is you move like the healed version of you. You speak like the confident version of you. You choose like the whole version of you. Even if your bank account hasn't caught up yet, even if the relationship hasn't shown up yet, even if the door hasn't opened, it is speaking those things that are not as though they were. This level of faith, this is not about you pretending. This is a decision. Faith is a decision. And so I want you to ask yourself, how would I show up today if I trusted who God says I am? What would I stop tolerating if I really believed I was worthy of the absolute best? What would you stop chasing like you were desperate for it, desperate for the thing that you already have? In this season, this month, as we start this new year, it's going to be about trusting what God has already said, which leads me to principle number two. In this sea of all these voices, you are going to have to follow what God has spoken directly to you. January is loud. Everybody has a word, everybody has a prophecy, a theme, a prediction. And while those things, we can be curious and we can be leaning in. God has no need to play telephone. If God created you uniquely and has given you a word, why would the instructions need to be found outside of you? There is a word that is tailor made for you, for your life, for your season, but you are not going to hear it in the chaos. You're not going to hear it if you are comparing yourself with the word somebody else got. You won't hear it while you are constantly consuming what the words on social media. You will hear it in stillness. Stillness is not passive, it's intentional, it's sacred. Part of what I know you will need to do is to recognize you don't need everybody's confirmation. You don't need everybody's opinion. You can trust what God has spoken to you. You can make room for what God has spoken to you. And part of the way you do that is by intentional rest, intentional pause, finishing what you already started. You got to heal before you build. Come on, that's the hard part, that we are not creating and building from a wounded place, but you are able to kind of clear out the emotional clutter so you can have a clean um, ear gate to God that you can hear. So, one of the things I want you to think about is, what has God already said that you are overlooking? Where are you looking for permission when God has already given you an authority and a promise? The third thing I want you to think about is the principle of letting go. And I would strongly recommend in 2026 that you practice letting go daily. A lot of times we, are thinking about um, letting go in the springtime, spring cleaning, letting go at the end of the year. But you are going to have to let go daily. In this season, you can't afford to carry unnecessary weight. You can't afford to carry unnecessary offenses. Letting go, again, is not denial of what happens, but it's a decision. It's a choice. It's a choice to say, this hurt me, but it doesn't have to own me. It says the relationship that I may have to let go of mattered, but it doesn't, the memory of it doesn't have to stay with me. It doesn't have to trap me. Tending to yourself, that is your spiritual responsibility. It is your your assignment to make sure that you're not carrying anything that's going to get in the way of your assignment of the work that you've been called to do with God. It's not going to, there's nothing, no old baggage that is going to clutter up emotionally the space that you need for God to move in your life this year. So if you've been wondering, now what, 6, 7 days into the new year, I want you to live from who you already are, who God said you are. Listen for the voice that knows your name and release what was never meant to stay with you. If this message resonated with you, I want you to just pause for a moment, place your hand over your heart, because something in you already knows this is your season. If you're ready to go deeper, you're ready to realign with your soul, your faith, your future, I'm the coach that would love to walk with you. I want you to feel free to just share this message with another person, whether it's a sister or brother that you know has big dreams, big desires for 2026, but they may be asking the question, okay, I got the goals, my journal is full, my plans are full, but now what? This isn't going to be about you becoming somebody else, but it's more about you coming home to the real you, coming home to yourself. So, again, let this message just kind of sit in your heart, let it sit in your spirit, and know that you are more than enough, that you are not your circumstance, you are not who people say you are who God says you are. Tune your ear into God's voice and God's message tailor made for you. Recognize that you already have permission. And if there's anything that you're still holding on to that would get in the way of the promise that God has for you, make a decision to let it go. Make a decision to travel light. Make a decision um, to make your own wellness a priority. For those of you who have been a part of my community, I want to remind you that there are still spaces available. If you want to travel with me for the Soul Love Winter Retreat, we are going to beautiful Sedona, Arizona. It's the perfect place for you to hear from God, for you to tap in to the power that is already within you, for you to um, reacquaint yourself, with your own unique flow, with your own voice, with the voice of God. Sometimes we have to pull away, we have to go to a high place, we got to go to a sacred space so that we can minimize the noise around us, that we can get away from the circumstance of our life and remember what God said about us and where God said we are going. So if you are in need of that kind of sacred time away, if you are seeking God for a divine strategy for the words that God has spoken to you for 2026, like again, you're in that space of now what? Okay, God, I heard you, but now what? And you want to spend 5 days and 4 nights in beautiful Sedona with me, I encourage you to reach out. There's still a few spaces left. I know a few of you in the community have already let me know, Melissa, I'm really praying about it. I want to get there. I want to get there. I'm urging you to hear your heart, hear your spirit, and to trust what you hear and to know that God is going to meet you there. So until next time, wishing you the absolute very best, wishing you God's grace, God's peace, and God's love. Bye bye.